What up, Gapper Nation? It's Vision Gap coming at you live with another hot video. Just kidding. I got a new Project L video I decided to make. This one is from the Red Bull event that was held at EVO. So basically they got the whole FGC Illuminati and they allowed them to all play Project L, and they got some really good matches, especially with the devs. For some reason I wasn't invited, but I'm not mad. Yeah, so anyway, ignoring that, I've basically just gone through the clips from the event, all the different matches, and I've ripped out just what I thought was interesting. So I have this split up into 4 different categories. Okay, we got interactions, then we got some combos, then we got some tech, and then at the end I have a couple of sequences I really like to show off, and by that it's like they'll do a combo into an interesting setup and then they'll follow it up with some sort of a cool read or like some sort of a cool interaction with the assist, something I thought was really interesting to show off. So that's how it's split up. So you can just skip to whichever part you like if you just want to see the combos or you just want to see the interactions or whatever. Alright, so for this first one we got L.I. Joe, or as I call him, Long Island Joe Star. I don't really call him that. And J.M. Crofts. And what you see here is he's playing Yasuo, L.I. Joe I should say, and he shows off a cool little mechanic with him, which is that he can do his level 1 into his level 2 super. And I haven't really seen any other characters do it, and I believe Sajam said something about it's only him, so that's pretty cool. I didn't really see many of the devs do it. I don't know if it's so optimal, but yeah, you can do level 1 into level 2 super with Yasuo. Another cool thing you can do in the game is actually get a combo off of an air throw. So as you can see here, Apology Man grabs Nerd Josh, throws him, and then starts doing a combo, but then it gets broken. Either way, it's still pretty cool. And a lot of games don't allow this, but I guess Project L is a tag game, so I think those are more lenient with some of the wilder stuff you can do. So that's pretty cool. Another thing that's cool is on the sides, you'll notice that the UI actually gives you a lot of information about the games. So if you use a certain fuse, for example, you can say that it says freestyle when you do a special freestyle tag. So that's pretty cool. So Joe Star is back fighting Crofts, and then what you see is that what J.M. Crofts does is he runs up, and L.I. Joe does the reversal that Darius has, and it's not a true invincible reversal, but it is armored. And so what's interesting is J.M. Crofts actually does a series of very quick, I suppose, lights. So they're crouching lights, and it actually breaks through the armor of Darius there. So it's interesting. You don't just have to kind of take the armor as it is. You can just jab through it, similar to something like a Drive Impact in Street Fighter 6. So that's pretty interesting. Okay, so back to Apology Man and Nerd Josh. Here they're both playing Echo, but something kind of interesting happens. Apology Man throws the... I was going to say Echo Cube because I play a Street League, but no, it's a Time Winder. He throws the Time Winder, and then they both jump over it. However, Nerd Josh calls his Ari assist, and the assist still gets tagged by the Time Winder because it has time to open up and... create that little time distortion field or whatever the hell it does. So yeah, it's interesting. Your assist can still get tagged by it. It's not like you know, the assist just gets hit, but then it'll just retreat or whatever. It actually applies the same effect it would to hitting your point character. So I think that's a good thing to know. So this is another interesting move here. It's from Ari. So usually she can use one of the orbs at a time. And I know a lot of players, they'll use it to get extra air actions. I'm not sure if she has ground actions, but I believe she does have extra air actions after she burns an orb. So here you can spend all of them, it appears, because as you can see, there's multiple, but they are all gone after the use of the move. And then yeah, you get this projectile move, and it seems pretty strong, although you do have to burn a very significant resource, which is all of her orbs. So I think that's kind of an interesting mechanic. Might add an extra layer to our gameplay. You can just pull it out when people don't expect it because everybody else is expecting the single orbs. And it seems to have quite a bit of hit stun, so maybe you can combo it from pretty far. So yeah, interesting move. I really like this last interaction, and that is Clockwork's use of the charged heavy normals. A lot of the other devs or just the pro players they had here, they would not use the charged heavy normal, at least from the footage I've seen. They wouldn't use it as much, but Clockwork seems to really like using it. And so it almost reminds me of, you know, in Melty Blood or, you know, in general fighting games, a slower move, if it's really slow and it's supposed to be reactable and it's, it'll just give you some kind of reward. So it'll either be like an overhead or it'll often be some kind of plus frames. And that's what you see here. You charge it up, so I guess there would be a gap there where they could jump out or just hit you out of it. But if you do not hit them, then they can take advantage of the plus frames. So you can see Clockwork hits the heavy normal there, and I'm not sure if it's Damascus or Kayane who he's playing, but whoever's playing, one of the French champions there, he runs up and still beats their mash. So they seem to press some kind of button there, and Clockwork just runs up and gets a conversion off it, because it gets a combo, because they decide to mash on those plus frames. So I think that it'll be a pretty strong move just to check your opponent. Make sure they're actually paying attention to your pressure strings, because otherwise you can just kind of keep looping that and do it forever. They have to make sure that they mash out of there or just get out of that situation. So you'll see a lot more of Clockwork in this, especially in the tech section, because he does some crazy stuff. But Clockwork, I think he really demonstrates some of the more advanced concepts of the game very well. Alright, now time for some cool tag combos, because everybody likes cool combos in tag games. And we're going to start off with Apology Man, you know, a veteran of tag fighters. And he even said his favorite character is Ari, and we see, actually, I'm going to put in 2 cool combos from Apology Man here back to back. So for the first one, we see a route that is called, they were calling it on commentary, the Sonic Fox combo, which is kind of funny because the game isn't even out yet. But yeah, they're calling it the Sonic Fox combo, and you see it's pretty interesting. It's just looping that air normal over and over again. You kind of stagger the timings of it. It seems pretty cool. And the next one is a different route altogether, but it utilizes, again, that air throw into the OTG to finish off the rest of the combo. So I thought that those were both pretty cool, and they both got pretty decent corner carry too. So pretty stylish and good utility too, it seems. Okay, and now Mr. Clockwork is of course back, and turned out his Echo is not only clean but also his Darius. So here we have a sick little combo from him. I don't know if this is some, it's probably gonna be something about B and B, but I still think it looks really cool because there's multiple apprehends, which is that axe move where he grabs you and yanks you. The E for Darius in League if you're into League. And yeah, I think it looks really cool. Once again, good corner carry like the Ari routes we saw from Apology Man. And it has a nice ender because it ends with him standing on the ground next to you, and then he runs up and does a light to OTG, and then starts running his offense. And what you see after that, with that light OTG hit after you finish the combo is like a common theme, and we'll see that a lot more later, so keep an eye out for that. I told you Clockwork's gonna be running the show here. Clockwork is back with this absolutely disgusting Echo combo. First of all, it starts with a cross up low, okay? Cross up low into a full combo into the install. And after you have the install, because you can just keep, once the install is out, you can just keep teleporting back to the clone. So notice how Clockwork just goes back to the clone multiple times in the route, and then finish it off with calling in Darius with the I forgot what the exact word is, but basically the move where you just tag in your assist mid-combo, tags in the Darius finishes it out the route, and I mean, look at the damage, look at just the whole thing. I feel bad for JM Cross, man. He probably went home and he was like, folks, that was kind of nasty. Alright, on to the tech, and I personally really like this section, because I think they really showed off, especially the devs who've had the game for so long, have had so much experience with it. They really show off some cool stuff. So once again, it's Clockwork. Clockwork's back, baby. And back on the Echo, and you can see he's fighting Kayane and Damascus again. But what's interesting is one of them, whoever's playing Yasuo, throws out the wind wall. And Clockwork, he, instead of just saying, okay, the wind wall's going to block all of my time winders, he says, no, I'm going to shoot the time winder up into the air and then launch it down at Yasuo over the wind wall at an angle. So I really liked it, right? Put in so many different options just for one move. like Time Wander, there's so many different ways to interact with it as Echo, and even sometimes as the enemy player. So it's really cool. I think it really allows for a lot of creativity, and I really like that Riot gives those options. Really cool tech there from Clockwork. All right, so next we have Apology Man and the Kill Sage. And remember, Apology Man is like the Ari Man, okay? Clockwork is the Echo Man. The Apology Man changed his name to Ari Man. Calls in the Kill Sage on Darius, okay? The Kill Sage runs up doing the charge assist, so it takes a while, and it can basically lock down the enemy. At the same time, Apology Man jumps up and does Ari's move where she gets all of her orbs back, and then, so Sage is still pressuring here, right? So he uses the tag, basically, tags in the Kill Sage mid-pressure, so the Kill Sage can continue the pressure, and Ari gets the guaranteed reset on her orbs. She gets all of her orbs back and is tagged out safely. I think this is a really cool clip because it shows how useful having two players can be, because doing what the Kill Sage is doing right now with the pressure, if you were doing that and trying to get Ari at the same time, all that stuff, I think it would be quite a bit more difficult if you just had one player. I think you can do it, especially if you're really practiced, you know, you're a really good player, but I think that's a nice benefit to having two players. So really cool clip there, and we're about to see a similar one right now. Okay, this next clip you might want to watch a couple times just to see exactly what's being done here. Once again, Apology Man with the Ari does a very similar thing to the last clip, but an interesting variation. First of all, Apology Man's by himself this time. So what he does is he has Echo throw the Time Winder assist and then jumps up into the air, once again doing the move where Ari resets her orbs, and then switches, while he's doing it, switches to Echo, and then sees the Time Winder hit, confirms off of that into a special from Echo, goes back into Ari because the special from Echo will wall bounce, and so that gives Ari time to gives him time to tag into Ari, and then he combos off of the wall bounce with Ari, continuing the combo with full orbs now having been restocked. That is pretty crazy. I recommend you rewatch the clip because it's a lot of stuff that Apology Man does in like 2 seconds, and it's really impressive. A really wild clip from Apology Man. Okay, so speaking of Apology Man, we got another clip from him. And I know I said Clockwork was the Echo Master, but Apology Man, you shouldn't sleep on his Echo either, because this is pretty nuts. What he does is he gets an Oki situation where I believe this is the charge version of the role, and so there's a clone left on the other side, and now Apology Man will go into a low string, and the lows actually do open up the opponent, but then Apology Man, I think, was already doing the overhead. They were already thinking in his mind, okay, I'm just going to do the overhead. So does the overhead, that hits too, but then confirms it by teleporting back to the other side and getting the rest of the combo. And I think what's so crazy about this is that he could teleport, and even if the overhead didn't hit, even if it was blocked, I believe he could have just kept the pressure going on the other side and could have even gone for a low. Looks like he went for a mid here, but could have gone for a low too. So that is just a nasty mix, and I really wonder if they're going to keep if they're going to keep Echo the same as he is now, because his mix is really crazy, and you'll see more from Clockwork later. It's crazy. So I don't know if they're going to leave it. Maybe they will because it's a tag game, but yeah, pretty nuts. Okay, so the Apology Man Echo was pretty wild. This Clockwork clip is diabolical. That's the only way I can describe it, is diabolical. The man starts off by showing how you can use a charged assist to continue a combo. So he starts with Darius doing the combo, but then use the Echo charge assist to continue it. Okay, so now he has Echo in, does this sick Echo route, and then ends up on the left side. And he probably would have ended the combo in a little bit, except what he does instead is do a string into throwing the Time Winder, right? But then as he throws the Time Winder, immediately, like, you have to look at, I was looking at like frame by frame, okay? Immediately he goes back with the rewind and cancels the recovery of the Time Winder so that he can just basically reset it. So this is a reset right here, and I don't know if you can block it. Like, if you're holding block, maybe that Time Winder wouldn't hit you or something, But either way, it is pretty crazy because I think even if you were to block it, you have to just hold more pressure now. So this is a crazy setup from Clockwork, and there's more to come, but this is just one example of like the tech he has. It's ridiculous. So here I wanted to show off some tech that we see a lot more in the sequences section, and it seems to be something that the devs really like to do. And that is, they will do an OTG light after they get a knockdown. So I guess this is because it limits the opponent's options, and so they just kind of have to sit there and get up into some kind of pressure. So, or even a mix-up. So, for example, here we see Clockwork doing it in the corner with Darius, and then now we see his opponent getting up straight into the apprehend and then gets tagged by the command grab. So yeah, this appears to be very strong because all the devs do it, and we'll see a lot more of it later. It seems like a very kind of crucial core Okizeme option in the game. So here we see Clockwork doing another cool piece of echo tech, and this one isn't quite as complex as the other ones, but I think it's still very practical and would be pretty easy to do for any echo player. So notice how Clockwork just throws out the Time Winder at Unconquerable. Unconquerable jumps at him, and then Clockwork says, oh, okay, you're jumping at me. I have a bar of meter. What am I going to do? I can just push block you, and that push block results in Unconquerable getting tagged by the Time Winder. So that's pretty cool, pretty simple tech, and you do have to burn a bar, but that's still really useful because you get a full combo into Oki. So yeah, pretty cool tech there from Clockwork, as always. Guess who's back? Yeah, it's Clockwork's back. And guess what? He's back on Echo, and he's got something special cooked up for Lord Knight here. So Lord Knight is trying to block for his life in the corner here, and then Clockwork hits him with multiple overheads. And what's crazy is even though Lord Knight blocks them, what happens is he just rewinds and then does another overhead, and that catches him. So yeah, Lord Knight's played some anime games. You know, Melty Blood, you see quite a few triple, quadruple overheads, but Clockwork's got some pretty wild overhead setups in this game too in the corner. So yeah, the rewind definitely helps you get an extra overhead in there in the corner. Pretty cool. Okay, so now we have something interesting from Pat the Flip and Unconquerable. So they're just playing here in neutral. And then what they're able to do to Marlin Pie is get him stuck in between them, and now it's welcome to BB tag, because as you notice they have the freestyle tag enabled, so they just keep going back and forth, and poor Marlin Pie has to block this out, and eventually what happens is Unconquerable, because Ari is still there to be tagged back to. I believe this makes Marlin Pie pretty scared because, you know, they've gone back and forth now, so Marlin Pie is probably thinking, oh, they're going to go back to Ari again. But no, Unconquerable actually decides to say, no, I'm going to do Yasuo's little command hop from the stance. That's what that move is he's doing. And then jump over and actually get a cross-up overhead, and that's how he opens up Marlin Pie. So yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know if it's as crazy as BB Tag. There's a bit of recovery, it seems, when you swap. But yeah, it's definitely still grimy, definitely still very strong, it seems, the sandwich setups here. Okay, so this is another example of the knockdown into the light and run up Oki. So the crouching light Oki that we saw from Clockwork Darius earlier. So here we have Unconquerable doing the same thing, but I think Yasuo, the situation he gets off of this is very good, because he has that cross-up dash through, and then he also has this stance into the command jump. So you can do all kinds of stuff. You can cross up overhead, maybe same side overhead. I'll just run up, and even what Unconquerable does here, because there's so many threats, and it seems like you basically have to guess, because all he does is just run up and meaty and it hits, and I think that's because of the threat of the other moves. So yeah, it's a pretty scary situation that Yasuo gets here. Very strong, and this really seems to be a core feature of the game's Oki. Alright, and this is the last tech example, but this is really interesting because this is more so using the tag as mix-up, and as also as just a gap closer. So what we see here is damn. Anyway, what we see here is Unconquerable starting off the pressure with Yasuo, again with that command jump. Alright, now pushing forward, calls in Pat the Flip, and then as he's doing pressure, switches to Pat. Now Pat runs up, does a low, and then goes straight into an overhead, but at the same time switches back over to Unconquerable. So I think the threat here is the overhead gonna hit me first from Ari that Pat did before tagging, or could Unconquerable just go low and that'll hit me first? So, you know, it's not like a true unblockable. It's not like, oh, the overhead and the low hit on the same frame and then it's an unblockable. No, that's not how it works. But it's really ambiguous, like, which one's going to hit me first, you know? It's pretty tough. And there's two characters right there, so they're all kind of, their limbs and stuff is all jumbled together. It's kind of nasty, bro. Looking like some Baki scene or something. Anyway, but yeah, so that makes it even a little bit more ambiguous. So yeah, really tough situation to be in, an interesting high-low setup you can get with the tag. So yeah, just another example of how strong the tag is in the game. Very, very strong mechanic. Okay, so we got some absolutely sick sequences here for you at the end. So we start with Apology Man playing Nerd Josh, gets a combo with Echo, and then tags in Ari, and then does the double beast cannon downwards into another overhead to open him up, and then again loops these aerial normals in the corner into the orb and tries to get a little cheeky mix up there with the orb, but Nerd Josh jumps out. But yeah, tags the other character out, but actually gets both characters, so that gives him a wall bounce. With like Echo hits both characters, and that gives him a wall bounce, and then just manages to finish it off with Ari there. Really, really nice, really clean. So this is a cool clip here. Unconquerable and Marlin Pie are fighting. As Marlin Pie gets tagged in, Unconquerable hits him, does a full route into Super, and then notice here, jumps over and actually tags him low. Now that jump over, I don't know if the Super naturally gives you that, like it doesn't actually put them in the corner, or if Marlin Pie just moves slightly out of the corner, but whatever happened, Unconquerable was just able to just jump over and go empty jump low on the other side. So yeah, I don't think you're really blocking that. Very, very ambiguous, very cool. Okay, so I think this clip really shows how strong the freestyle fuse is. So as you can see, Unconquerable and Pat the Flip get a nice little sandwich setup, but then immediately get hit with another one like back at them from Marlin Pie and Clockwork. So they're both making a heavy use of it, as you can see. So I don't know if that fuse is really strong, or I don't know if it's too strong. Like, you know, you can't say it's too early, but I think it's something to watch for because it was very dominant in BB Tag, and I don't know if this game's going to turn out the same way, but that fuse is definitely very, very potent. This sequence is just sick. So Clockwork's going in here, gets bursted on after he gets the hit, and then it's just playing some neutral here. And then, okay, we see now sandwich in the corner on block. I don't know how Clockwork blocks it. I think it's because he jumps, so that he didn't really have to guess as much. But anyway, gets out, resets neutral, and then once again, you see, remember that tech from earlier? Remember the rewind on the overhead in the corner? Yeah, that's where it is. Do it again, and again we see the tech from before. Gets the light OTG and is able to actually cross through with the Yasuo dash. So that's another thing. I remember Sajam was mentioned this. Yasuo can actually take the corner with that dash move. So that's very strong, very dangerous, and really just an overall great series. So now we got Clockwork back on the mic again, and let's just get a little hit there. Confirms into the full route again. Roll through Okizeme, cross up low, instant cross up low after it looked like he was going to jump. Crazy. And then goes straight into level 3, and it's a kill. And I really like this Echo Super, and it's really cool because there's a certain variation of it where I believe if you do it as a counter hit, he'll get knocked down and then rewind and then combo you. So that's, I mean, do the Super to you, so that's really cool. Alright, and this is our last clip from Marlin Pie, and I think what he really shows is that Yasuo is just as hype in this game as he can be in League. So, I mean, look at this combo he does. It's so clean. It's got, like, all these little, like, intricacies to it, so many little hits, and then he just runs up for Oki, once again off of the light, and then stays on the same side, gets another full combo, chop, 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 into the super, and yeah, just a really stylish combo. Love the, I believe there's also some little timing things he does, as I was saying before. So really cool sequence from Marlin Pie. And yeah, he's supposed to be the Yasuo man. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. All the commentators are getting hype. And that was the last clip I have here. So yeah, everybody, that was really it for this video. Just a bunch of cool clips. Different tech combos, whatever I saw from the Red Bull event, and I really hope they have more of these in the future because I like to analyze them more. I really like looking over footage like this and trying to see what sort of little tech, pieces of tech you can find, or little nuances you can see in the different players' gameplay. Really enjoyable. And I don't always make educational stuff, but I thought it'd be fun to do it for this one because I'm so hyped for Project L. And, you know, I hope it doesn't get too crazy. I hope it's not like some kind of Kuso gay or something, but I'm definitely very excited for it. I love League, I love fighting games. It's going to be really, really awesome to play it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching the whole thing. If you made it to the end, like, share, sub, you know what I'm saying. Send it to your dad, send it to your grandma, send it to everybody. Anyway, thanks, and see ya.